Okay, guys, welcome back to a new video here. So we had just completed Donald Trump's State of the Union speech, and it was absolutely wild. We had a congressman ejected from the speech. It was totally insane. I'm going to break the entire thing down for you right now. Utterly insane. I mean, the number of claims that were made and his emphasis, it's important the emphasis that he made on a number of different topics. He didn't really mention Ukraine. I mean, the entire thing was insane. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to give you the full breakdown. First of all, him walking into the chamber was pretty wild. No Democrats greeted him really, which is usually very different from the part of the course. Usually you had Democrats greeting him. The Democrats obviously trying to make a statement of protest of sorts. We had a lot of these Democrats wearing pink, for example, as a form of protest, which is kind of silly. We're going to talk about the Democrats and their protest tactics throughout this video, which is pretty ridiculous if you ask me. First of all, you have them holding up these signs, and honestly, it was kind of pathetic. I mean, it didn't really do much. And the guy who got ejected, which we're going to bring up, and I'm going to show you the video, Al Green, at least he showed a backbone to actually protest what the hell is going on there, unlike the Democrats. But again, just completely insane. Let's just get right into it. So he gets into his speech and he starts saying, "This is the golden age of America has begun." What does that mean? Does that mean higher prices, stock market crash? Like, what does that mean? But okay, that's what he says. I mean, I'm not really sure what he means by golden age of America. The economic climate of the United States has crashed since Trump became president. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Number two, he says it's the most successful era in American history we're entering. Not so sure about that. And then again, what really sparked the Al Green situation was Trump made a comment basically saying, "Hey, I got a mandate, guys. I easily won this election, 312 electoral votes. Utter BS. First of all, it's a huge mandate. He got less than 50% of the vote. Joe Biden won in the popular vote by far more. No one called that a mandate. And not to mention, Biden won more electoral votes. Obama won by more electoral votes, both elections. So the idea that this was some historic election where you see a lot of people on the right claim utter BS. Al Green basically stood up. I mean, it was wild. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before. He stands up, starts shaking his cane at Trump, yelling at him, saying, "It's no mandate." It was wild. He was ejected from the arena. It was absolutely insane. Let me just show you the video and we'll get right into it and discuss it after. Here's the clip, guys.
1 month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Again, that is pretty wild. I mean, I've never seen anything like that happen before. But again, obviously you're trying to make a point, and listen, I think there's a debate about whether or not that's respectful, whether he should be doing that or not. But you know what? I don't care. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene and the Republicans doing the same thing. She wasn't ejected for that. So the Democrats, you know what? Why not play at their level? I think it was whatever. I mean, it was more effective than the protests the other Democrats are doing with the stupid the stupid signs in the air, which is completely ineffective. Yeah, the Democrats walking out in the middle of the speech, it just wasn't that effective. But the Al Green one, hey, I got eyeballs, and you know what? He's going to make a damn lot of money fundraising tonight. I can guarantee you that much. But that was probably the biggest moment of the entire speech. And by the way, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. It's super good for the algorithm, and it helps the channel out immensely. And if you want to help the channel out in any other way, you can go to my Patreon link, which is in the description. So again, he mentions how a freeze. So then he goes on to foreign aid, for example. except Israel, obviously. They said how we've been stopping for aid. He brings up Elon Musk doing all this great stuff, quote unquote. He says he terminated the Green New scam, just utter lie. There was no Green New Deal passing Congress, just a completely made up fabrication from Trump there. He makes another lie saying the Paris Climate Accord costs trillions of dollars. Another lie, completely not true. I will say he did have a pretty good line. I'm not gonna lie. He said to the Democrats, "How did it work prosecuting your political opponent?" Not so good. I mean, pretty good line, and it definitely got a lot of applause from the Republican side. Obviously, definitely a good line, and he had a couple of those throughout the speech where he had a number of good lines, I thought, and that were very effective. Especially talking about crime, for example, he came across as very effective. I would say, however you feel about it. And then, if, it's ironic he brings up free speech in America. Uh, Unless it's Israel, by the way. I mean, again, he just literally released a statement saying they're going to get protesters off college campuses and deported for free speech who are protesting against Israel. So again, it's just so ridiculous, the hypocrisy coming from Trump on stuff like this. And then 5 minutes earlier, he kicks out Al Green for exercising his free speech. But okay, whatever. He was ranting about trans people, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, it was absolutely wild. So that's great. Again, he talked about the inflation nightmare and then brings up the Biden economy, which honestly comes across as pretty tone deaf as the American economy is currently cratering. The stock market in the last few days has gone down. GDP predictions in the last few days has gone down. And he said the worst inflation like ever under Biden. That's not true. Jimmy Carter had way worse inflation. Again, the guy just makes up everything. I mean, it's truly wild the amount of lies that were said in this speech. And these people have no shame. He says he blames Biden for egg prices. Egg prices are up under Trump, not Biden. But again, it's insane. They will blame everything on Biden. If the stock market went down 50%, they would find a way to blame Biden. I'm not even kidding. And you guys probably know that's true too. It's absolutely ridiculous. Again, just crapping on the Biden economy he did. And again, it's so tone deaf to do that on a day where the stock market craters. I mean, and with the tariffs, people finally feeling the ramifications of this. I mean, it's absolutely wild. Again, most of the speech was a campaign rally kind of speech. It took a very long time for him to actually get into policy. The first few minutes, it was just basically him talking about how great he was. And then, of course, he calls up the president and Elon Musk to stand up and basically get his round of applause, which, again, he just looks super weird. I'm not sure what was going on there. Weird smile on his face. And apparently a cop had to tell him to shut up, actually. Or a cop told him he had to get off his phone because it's illegal to do in the House chamber. So that was pretty wild as well. Again, the Dems, I didn't really hear much booing. They should have booed when he was doing that. Again, be effective with your protest. Protesting Elon Musk, make a statement. But they did not do that. And again, I thought the only really effective course of protest was when you had Al Green actually do that, however you feel about that. It was extremely effective when he did that, and it gets you eyeballs, which is kind of the whole game here. Let's be honest. Whether it's a good thing we have in our society, it's what we are dealing with. So the Democrats really, for the most part, did not come across as very effective in their form of protest, I thought. And again, they bring up Trump goes on a tangent talking about Doge, for example, and all the savings they've done, bringing up insane things that were debunked. Talking about Social Security, for example, 300-year-olds were getting paid Social Security, completely debunked, utter BS. And it's insane how he just rambled off all this BS, totally debunked and untrue. But he still says it, no problem at all. Fish monitoring, it's so insane. Again, complete and utter lies about what Doge is cutting, but he won't mention the destruction of the anti-scam police, the CPSB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which helps consumers out. But he abolished that, but he doesn't bring that up. Want to know why? Because it's actually a very popular thing with the American people. So again, he brings up air traffic controllers, how they need to hire more people based on merit, as he hires Fox News friends like Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense and all of his friends and donors into his cabinet. Absolutely wild, the idea that it's about merit. Utter BS and bullcrap. As he fires air traffic controllers, he says, we need more, as there's plane crashes happening all the time under his watch. Not saying it's his fault, but again, it should be something that is noted. Again, it's just absolutely wild. Again, the Social Security thing, absolutely insane. One of the worst lines he had in the entire speech, I thought, was when he brought up the rule of unelected bureaucrats is over in the United States. Totally insane and tone deaf, as Elon Musk is in the crowd. I mean, the Democrats, again, they said they were laughing a little bit, but you should have maybe stood up and actually pointed towards the crowd at Elon Musk and made a point of that, which is extremely effective, and which is why the Okay, so we cut out there for a second, but again, it comes across as not effective enough for the Democrats. Again, in a lot of their attacks throughout the night. But again, a lot of what Trump was saying, especially on the Elon Musk thing, the unelected bureaucrat, is completely insane. And then I thought, which was pretty wild that he went this way, and there was some indication that he might roll back tariffs. There was no indication of that in this speech. In fact, it actually seemed he might ramp up tariffs. Um, Again, basically saying there might be some sort of disturbance for a while, which is pretty wild to say. I mean, you think the American people are going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm ready for some disturbance. I don't know. It came across as very tone deaf to me, and I'm not sure that's going to come across very well. Again, it was a 2-hour speech almost, which is insane for a State of the Union. But again, it was, um, you know, I'm not there's so much that was said. I'm not sure if this will be in the front of mind of people. But again, I thought it was pretty interesting that he would just brag about tariffs, saying we're going to bring back American manufacturing. He talked about getting rid of chips, which is a bipartisan act, one of the cornerstone legislation of the Biden administration. Which brought back a lot of manufacturing jobs to the United States, and then he talks about gutting the entire thing. So again, it's just wild to me. And again, Trump announced he was freezing the funding for that last week, which actually brings back, which actually created 115,000 manufacturing jobs. Again, it's wild how much he just like rambles. It's just insane. Again, he's obsessed with Biden, blames everything about Biden. I mean, again, he probably talked about him more than any other person in the entire speech. It was wild stuff to watch. Of course, he brings up the Springfield, Ohio, and the migrants there. That was another thing. And again, he brings up the police officers, which again, as he pardons January 6 people who beat the hell out of police officers, and he talks about law and order. Again, just so insane. Again, there were some nice moments in the crowd. There was a brain cancer survivor, I believe, who Trump gave an honorary Secret Service badge to, which was super nice. And a number of other moments, which are super nice to see. And then he brings up taking Greenland, whether they like it or not. Again, I'm just gonna assume he's joking, and there's so much else going on, but my god, I mean, you gotta be kidding me, guys. And then he interestingly enough, on the foreign policy front, he brings up Ukraine, how we got a nice letter from Zelensky, so it seems like he might be backtracking, and it seems as though we could have a minerals deal on that front, which, again, I've given my take on the minerals deal. I'm not so sure about it, but it seems as though the relations with Ukraine could be improving slightly. I mean, the Europeans watching that speech have got to be a little more happy than they were a few days ago after the Zelensky blow up meeting. But again, the entire thing was super interesting. I'm curious what you guys think, good or bad speech. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, I want a huge and a wide audience here. So that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. It's super good for the algorithm. And that's what I got for you. I'll see you guys tomorrow.